December 3rd. Motion to approve the minutes of September 24th meeting with Mr. Conover. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. All right, we're going to open up the agenda. We got quite a few resolutions we're going to have to go over, so we'll turn it over to Joanne.
Okay, the first resolution is to print our whitewater rafting guide, and that's just about ready to go to the printer as soon as we approve the resolution, and we'll do 30,000 copies of that. If there could be a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Wood. Conover.
Thank you.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
The next resolution is to continue the contract with the Lake George CDB. It's an extension for 1 year of the existing contract at the same dollar amount as 2015.
Make a
Ms.
motion.
Wood. Did I get a second? Mr. Dickinson, you gonna second that for me?
Go ahead.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Okay, the next resolution is to authorize travel to consumer shows. For the most part, we are taking a step back to revisit our attendance at consumer shows this year, but the two that we would like to attend are New York by Rail at Penn Station, which we feel is a good place to be, and we're trying to attract that train drive market. And also the Snow Expo in Albany in December is one of the few winter things that we do, but I did attend this year for the first time in a couple of years, and I felt that there was a pretty good connection with the crowd there, and it seemed like a good market to be in. It was well attended. I do think that we will look at other shows moving forward, but for now it's just the two consumer.
Mr. Kenny wants to move 3 and 4.
Same.
Just give everybody. All right, Mr. Conover, second. Any other questions?
Oh.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Passed. Down to 5.
Okay, number 5 is to renew the lease agreement with the Adirondack Outlet Center for the satellite tourism office.
Ms. Wood, Mr. Kenny?
How much is
Questions? All in favor?
$15,000.
15,000?
This will be our, I think, 4th year now, or 3rd year?
Great.
Yeah, this will be, we did it, this will be our 4th year, I think. All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed to it.
Okay. And that'll be passed.
Resolution to continue an agreement with Travel Information Centers on the Thruway to distribute our travel guides. They do well with distribution for us.
That's the one here in Queensbury?
This is on I-90
Oh,
and
I-90.
87 on the Thruway.
Good.
They go through many thousands of our guides.
Mr. Conover, second. Dickinson, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, passed.
Okay, continue the agreement with the Village of Lake George to fund the visitor center, the Beach Road Visitor
Mr.
Center.
Kenny? Mr. Conover, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
And to appoint me to be the program director for, to be the liaison between I Love New York and Warren County, so that I can represent the county as a TPA at New York State events and functions, and the Adirondack Regional Tourism Council. Kate was in that role previously.
Conover, Mr. Dickinson, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Okay, that's it
All
for
right.
resolution.
That was quick. All right, and pending, right now, we're still
Still pending on
We're
number
still
1.
pending
and
on the tourism director until the 1st of the year. The RFP did go out for, on time. Julie did a good job, and the small committee that was, put together to look it over. And, I think they should be all in by next Friday. I think it's the
December.
14th, December 14th.
15.
15th,
Yep.
when it's, and then we'll get back that to that small committee to look at it, Julie will make sure everything is, that came in meets our RFP. Early first of January, we'll get the committee together to go over.
And there has been some interest. Julie has fielded a few questions. I don't think she's received any proposals yet, but, she anticipates that she certainly will.
All right, we'll go on to information for discussion.
Okay, we don't have a presentation today. We're gonna keep things kind of short and to the point. Let's see, we do have some new publications that you have been aware of. You've seen our new winter guide, and Peter will tell you a little bit about, that in detail. And our, summer travel guide is in production right now, and that'll be off to the printer, and we are working on that 8 hours a day right now. Tanya's got a couple of new pieces, and she can kind of compare and contrast a little bit when she gives her review. Our winter PD will start this coming Monday, and we're also part of a snowmobile campaign with the Adirondack region, and that has started already. And they're promoting that online and digitally through their email blasts, and we provide them with our snowmobile packages, and they send out a snowmobile map in addition to our winter guide. So that goes out to anyone who's interested in in snowmobiling in the Adirondacks. Jean Merlino and Michael Consulo, and there were others from the area. We went to the Governor's Tourism Summit a couple of weeks ago down in Albany, and it was good to get out and meet our other peers and to network a little bit. Senator Little was there and had a few words to say. Assemblyman Dan Stack was there, and representatives from all the different industries within the travel business, whether it was airlines, hotels, attractions. So it was a good place to be, to hear, what the plans are for 2016. The Isle of New York budget will increase from $45 million to $50 million next year. There's also an increase in matching funds. We haven't received our award yet from the matching funds director, but we should hear that any day now, and we're hoping for a little bit more money from the state. Part of what Isle of New York does for us is a program called Market New York, and there was a grant that the Adirondack region took advantage of 2 years ago to study the millennial market, and are the millennials interested in coming to the Adirondacks, and how do we attract that market? So if anyone here is interested, the results of the report are back. In 2 weeks, there'll be a presentation up at the Wild Center in Tupper Lake, and we'll hear all about that at the meeting. So if you're interested in going, let me know. I have the details on that, and anyone is welcome to come and see how your business or your town, or we as Warren County, can attract the millennial market to Lake George area and the Adirondacks.
Can I interrupt you? Anybody that's interested might go, and if you give us an idea real quick, we maybe get a van and all go together. But I think it's something that the tourism committee should go to, listen to what they have to say.
I do have a couple of printouts with some of the information here, and I would need to RSVP if you were interested. I think when I get back to the office, I may also reach out to some of the other, big stakeholders in the county, and just to let them know. I don't know if anyone from Great Escape is here today, but they would certainly, be interested in something like that, or the Sagamore, or some of our other business partners. Let's see. We just had a FAM here. Last weekend, there was a gal from the Journal de Montreal, and she's writing about year-round attractions in the area. She did stay at the Fort William Henry, did some factory outlet shopping, went to the Hyde Collection, did some hiking, and that should be out this coming weekend. So in terms of year-round and outlet shopping and Canadian market, that was a nice little weekend FAM. Tanya and I are working with Isle of New York. In January, the New York Times Travel Show has a media sector, and those folks will be here for several days, and we're going to try to get some of them upstate, Catskills, Albany, Saratoga, and a day in the Lake George area. So Tanya's been working on that for this past week. In terms of social media, everything is, we're growing in leaps and bounds on all of our social media platforms. One of the new promotions that Trampoline has started this week of November, if you go to our website or if you look at any of the social media platforms, they're trying a photo contest on Instagram. So they've had about 200 photo entries, and they have little prizes that they'll award at the end of a week. So one of them was the Tastes of Warren County, or the Sights of Warren County, and one of the, I think, is selfies. Show a picture of yourself having fun in the Lake George area. So at the end of the month, they will select a winner in each of those categories. They have started boosting a little bit on Facebook, and the boosts were kind of pushing people to that Instagram contest. As soon as the travel guide is out the door in another couple of days, we're going to start looking at placing ads for 2016. I'm trying to just talk to each of the folks that are, it seems like everyone is calling right now because they'd like us to spend money for 2016. But to look at what we did last year, reevaluate it, and print in particular, is this where we want to be, or can you offer us a digital component, or can you offer us something on social media? Tanya will tell you about a little connection she had with one of her advertisers that popped them up on Pinterest, and she's going to, take that in a new direction. But sometimes if you negotiate a little bit, you can bring the prices down, and so that will be our next big task.
Yeah, we've already had some success, but just being patient and letting the media outlet, scurry a little bit. They've come back on a couple of publications with a 33% discount. So we aim to do that throughout all our media buys. That could be a significant discount that we could then repurpose for even more buys or allocate that money elsewhere. So I think letting them kind of sit on the hot seat a little bit's been working out well for us.
If you wait till the deadline, it's when the price drops a little bit.
Or they give you more added value, a bigger ad for the same price, or more digital components. So.
Yep. So that's pretty much an overview from where I sit in the department. I would like to invite everyone that's here. I know it's a little bit later in the afternoon, but 1 o'clock we're going to meet up at the Lake George Forum to have take a peek inside the forum, and then maybe go down to Wild West, take a look at the zip line. If anyone is interested in taking a look, we would love to have you come along. I know the forum is anxious to share all of that with us.
We were trying to plan a meeting there at the forum, but it just didn't work out with the committee, plus we wouldn't be able to YouTube it. So, but they invited us to come there to have our meeting, and then they were going to give us a tour, and we're going to still go get the tour of the forum, and if you want to go up and see what they're doing, I guess the weather will be pretty good today. The zip line and stuff, they'll take us up there and take a look at it. They got a lot of big plans. Joanne and Peter have been meeting with them for about the last month and a half, and I think we're going to really promote them for the spring. All right, Peter, you're up.
Yeah, real quick, no presentation today because we've been pretty busy doing the winter guide, which you've seen, and the even bigger project, the travel guide. If you can take a look at the winter guide this year versus last year, you can see it's a much more elaborate piece and a much more community buy-in oriented piece. We've expanded upon that in the travel guide, reaching out to businesses and communities to get their images, to have their buy-in on multiple occasions, and it's been considerable success. A lot of images have come through from businesses. Putting that together, that goes out next Tuesday. Much bigger piece, much more quality-oriented piece. We've been also working on a lot of the stuff, Blast, setting up our schedule for next year. So just doing a lot of RFP stuff, consolidating budgets. We had talked about here, putting all that stuff into action. So we had before with our TV production schedule, there was a videographer, an audio house, and a TV editing studio that I had to go to each individual place to coordinate a shoot. We motioned a few meetings ago to consolidate all that, and we put that RFP together, and that's another RFP that's out right now, and we're fielding questions for it. So just a lot of nuts and bolts type stuff that will set us up for next year.
Any questions, Peter? Thank you, Peter. All right, Tanya, group tours.
Okay, mine's going to be pretty quick as well to get us on to occupancy tax, but I'm just going to kind of compare and contrast some of the former pieces that I use for motor coach promotion and what Peter and I have been kind of collaborating on to make them better, I think. One is I did last month tell you that we had 3,000 of the new group travel reprinted, but I wanted to make a comparison, and I think this is the most important comparison. If you can look at the new group travel planner itinerary page versus last year's itinerary page, you can see that, last year we kind of called out everybody in, in the county for fear of leaving someone out. But this year, we've really devised the pages to be more sellable for tour operators. They really want the work done for them. And with this, yeah, it gives you great ideas, but this is something that they could just pop into their catalog, and I think that this is a better way to sell the area. Not only have we done day trips, but we've also done, multi-days, and you can look through the pages here, but if you just wanna that's one major change that we've made to the group travel planner, which I think is a better way to sell the area, and it just makes it easier for the tour operators, so I just wanted to pass that around. I did do a press release on the new group travel, planner to let, tour operators know that it is out and available. And we did a new piece as well on our sell sheet. What a sell sheet is basically a big business card. When I go to a show, I have to sit down with tour operators, and keep in mind, I do the appointments, like the speed dating appointments. Keep in mind that an operator during like a show like ABA, which is 5 days long, may have 250 appointments. So really, they don't want to take resource material at that time, because of course they're all traveling, so you have to leave something behind, and what that is usually is a sell sheet. So we recreated our sell sheet from last year, trying to get away from a lot of copy. We want kind of the visuals to, speak for themselves. And you can make a comparison from last year. We have a lot of copy. I tend to find, like, when I look at a page that is filled with words, I tend to not want to read it. So we recreated it to do something with very key pieces. We have a map on the front. We have my picture. Not that I like to have my picture on 1,000 profiles, but it really makes people remember the appointment if they could see your face. Oh yeah, we talked about this, or we talked about that. I remember her. I remember that appointment. And then we just called out on the back. We did our basic events that are popular and our top picks for attractions. So Peter and I worked on that. We think this is going to be another great tool for me to use for 2016. That's really just a more workable piece. So I'll pass that as well. As far as advertising changes for 2016, Joanne kind of touched upon just kind of reevaluating some of the things that I've done in the past. Definitely we've decreased the budget a little bit, so I have to spend that money a little more wisely, I would say, and kind of really consider, what I want to do and what is the return on the investment. So I'm really, like, for this year I've only placed one ad, but I want to make sure that I get a lot of value add for that. For example, this is Leisure Group Travel magazine, and I got a half page that Peter designed, and then I got a half page of matching advertorial. So I got this in print. It was very economical, but I also got 3 itineraries online. I got a profile online. I got reader service leads, so I'm actually going to get some leads back from this. And they actually picked up on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, which is great. I'm really trying to get into the social media, dabbling in a little bit more in the social media side, so I just want to kind of pass that around and let you know what that ad looks like. And as far as my year-end, reevaluating what we did for 2015 and going on to 2016, typically I would do an end-of-the-year survey that I mail out to, all our motor coach-friendly attractions and hotels. I may get a handful of those back in 2016. But this year, I think I'm going to do appointments, and I'm actually going to go out to the hotels and the attractions, the ones that are the most savvy, and do the most motor coach groups. Sit down one-on-one with them, maybe go over the group survey, ask them what they'd like to see that's new, what shows I'm attending, just kind of get more feedback from them instead of just handing them a form and hoping that they get back to me with their, with their stats and things like that. And also, I'm trying to really, I know, Ron had mentioned last month about tracking. How can we track some of the incoming motor coach traffic? And I'm really making an effort in 2016 that when I get a call, I ask, how did you find us? When are you coming? What attractions are you visiting? What hotel are you staying at? So I'm really keeping, even in the last month or so, I've probably got 16 or 17 where I can actually find out, oh, well, that came from OMCA attending that show, or things like that. So tracking is going to be a big thing for 2016 for me. And that's really about it.
Very good, thank you. special events, Michael, we'll start off with you. You have anything, or you wanna just turn it over to Christina?
I'll turn it, if I can save my comments for.
Okay. Then we'll go to,
My report is there for the month of November. I actually have just finished up my, shows for the year, in the last 2 weeks, or 2 weeks ago. So I am in the midst of finishing up my follow-ups, not finishing up, but in the midst of doing my follow-ups. And from these 2 shows and the 2 shows previous to that. So, I am doing that. I am working with the, Hudson High School Athletic Association and trying to find rooms for the softball girls championships, which are here, during Americade, which is proving to be a incredible challenge because not only are they here then, they also need rooms with, in hotels with interior corridors. Room rates are high, they don't wanna give rooms, so, we're working very diligently to try and find 130 to 150 rooms. I'm just real busy. I met with some great groups, during Teams, which was, the last show I just went to, Nitro Circus, Trilogy Lacrosse, which is a group that I've been meeting with. We're trying to work some dates out for 2017 at Golden Goal. The show before that was Rejuvenate, which is the faith-based show. I've met with Dancing Preachers, Christian Medical and Dental Association, Youth Encounter, some groups that I've, not had the opportunity to meet with before and finally have met with, so that I was very pleased with that. Both shows, I got more appointments than I've ever had in the past, which was a great for me. I will send these to you in digital form if you have any questions on them. Let me know. Tanya, the lead you sent me, I've spoken with the woman, Samaritan's Purse, the, small lead for 30 people. They are actually looking at one location already. They were when they actually sent the lead.
Okay.
We'll just keep in touch. But
Good enough. Thanks.
okay, any questions? Thank you. Michael, did you have something to say?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to publicly thank the committee for the approval and extension for the contract. I honestly believe that there's value in this position. Christina has been out there in marketplaces that we haven't been out to in a very long time. And I honestly believe that the position complements what the kids are doing in the Warren County Tourism Department. And I think it makes for an overall rounded experience. So thank you very much for having faith in us in doing what we are trying to do, special events and other activities in the area. It was nice to go to the tourism summit with you and Joanne. It was also very nice to hear in the multitude of presentations the name Adirondacks. I think it was mentioned quite a bit, and it's good to know that on a state level there are folks out there that are thinking about our area and what we can do and what they can do for us in the future. And then very lastly, about a year ago, I had an opportunity to present to Senator Little some conceptual thoughts on the information center at Exit 17. That was something that we had taken over a couple of years ago in terms of the operation for the information center. And those ideas were then brought to the New York State Department of Transportation through Senator Little. And she stopped in my office a week or so ago and said that $1 million had been appropriated for some improvements at the exit, and those will include new bathrooms, both men's and women's, and plus a unisex bathroom. But more excitingly is the enclosure of the area. For those of you that have not been down there, there are 2 separate buildings with a little sort of porch share and open area, and that whole area is going to be enclosed, which will allow us to do a lot more in terms of making it that much better of a welcome site. And I think it's with the support of Warren County Tourism, with their funds that they give us along with the town of Queensbury, that will allow us to do much more in terms of presenting what the Adirondacks has to offer to the visitors that come here, whether it's Taste of New York or some of the products that are being featured not only throughout New York State but pertaining to our area. So I think some good site will begin, in the spring of 2016 with a, anticipated completion date in the fall. So, I'm really happy about that. I think that, when people cross that river and enter into, Warren County and they stop at that site, that they're gonna see a lot better facility than what has been currently there, and, I think it's good news. I thank you very much for all your help and support.
Thank you. And I'll just chime into that. It's partly because, Lake George Chamber took over that site and also helped Betty Little when our tourism department put some money into it. So now it moved to getting a little more out of the state, and I think that helped her a lot in, getting the funding for us, so we should be really happy that she pushed it for us. All right, privilege to the floor, and any comments from anybody who'd like to make a comment? All right, before I make a motion to adjourn, I do, it's, with great pleasure, I gotta thank my real good friend, Mr. Kenny, his last meeting here with us. It's been a pleasure working with you for 10 years. We don't always agree, but when we leave this room and get out in the hallway, we keep our relationship, and I'm really, really pleased to have worked with you.
Thank you.
So with that, we will adjourn. Motion, please. Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.